Fit like Abdi, Danny Boy here, and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 on the UK map. And yes, you read the title right. We're only on episode 88, 78. Who knows? Hold on, save game. Yeah, 87. We're only on episode 88, but we're going to do a drive-by. We're going to skip 10 years in game to 1940. Now I'll explain why in just a minute, but the two routes we're going to be running is our Royal Scot and Flying Scotsman route for this drive-by. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll jump on board our Royal Scot right here. We'll have a quick look at the train in all its glory. There it is, London, Midland and Scottish Railways, as it heads off to Carlisle, first destination. So off it goes. A couple other trains in Edinburgh there. I have timed this. I did set them to wait for 3 minutes to wait for a full load. This one's actually been waiting for about 15 minutes. Not sure why, but the other train at the other side seemed to be getting full. Ow, excuse me. Ow, excuse me. Yeah, the other train at the other side, down beside London, Oxford, was getting like a full load of passengers each time, so it didn't have to wait. And I want them both to be starting at opposite ends of the map, roughly about the same time. So I've reconfigured the line just to pick up what they can, and then leave, and then they should be fairly decently spaced out. There are only two trains, only two Royal Scots on here. It seems justified because some of the stations have barely any passengers, some of them have quite a lot. But yeah, so we're heading off. Doing a 40 miles per hour already, it's pretty good. So we're on our way to Carlisle. The reason I decided to do the drive-by sort of 2 episodes early is because I've been wanting to rework or at least not rework, but make the truck lines and bus lines more efficient. I have bus lanes now, but I get the feeling, or I think, sometime between 1930 and 1940, we're going to get new trucks. So I didn't want to change up all the truck lines and stuff to try and make them more efficient, just for me to have to change them a couple episodes later, because it actually takes quite a long time. Same with the buses. I think we're good for buses. I don't think we get a new bus between 1930 and 1940, but same. I want to do all the road vehicles together, and I want to do more stuff with freight. And there's like a severe lack of freight trains currently in the depots, so hopefully we'll unlock some new freight trains this time, and then we'll get some new freight lines up and running. Hopefully we'll have some better trucks as well, and I can sort of make... Ooh, there's a plane. There he is. Nice. Going in for a landing. Yep, so hopefully we'll be able to make those lines a lot more better. And that is the current plan. So we're currently heading to Glasgow. This train does not go as the crow flies. I was going to say, could I have stuck the train through there? Probably, but I like the way it swings round past Glasgow and then heads to Carlisle. One thing we didn't do though, push escape, push pause, is this. That +4, push that, off we go. Right, time is a rolling once more. So we're up to 60 miles per hour. The Royal Scot and the High Pressure Fury are like the two fastest trains we currently have available, because they have top speeds of 80 miles per hour. Our Flying Scotsman and the B17 class for the London North Eastern Railways is 75. So even though they did have like a record-breaking top speed like 100, but 75 is totally fine for this day and age. I'm not sure when our A4, the Mallard, becomes available. I think it's after 1940. I'm pretty sure. But we shall have to wait and see. We are now entering the sort of age of some electrified trains. I'm not sure if any electrified trains will pop up between now and 1930 and 1940. We did get the London North Eastern Railways one the EE1. That's currently heading on a route from London to Southend. I think this is one of our... this train on the right. Ooh, it's the Highland. That's the Jones class for the Highland Railway, because that's where it's heading. Right, we hang a left here, bypass Glasgow. Now, if you look at the Royal Scot sort of route map from back in the days, there was one that left from Edinburgh. There was also one that left from sort of Glasgow. We could probably do that, but I don't want it to cannibalise things like our LMS mainline route, the one that goes to London up to Carlisle. So we've kept that as is. The airport is over there. No planes currently, because they're probably flying through this mountain range. Alright, do we have to wait for this dude? Yes. But it should clear fairly quickly. That's another Highland Railways Jones class. Taking fuel up the line. There is also another train inbound. Hopefully we'll get out before that. I do believe it is the Glasgow to Carlisle express train. The good old point to point. Are we getting to go? We are. Sweet. So I've not seen this train hit its top speed of 80 yet. That section probably back there between Glasgow and Edinburgh was probably going to be its sort of best chance. Once it sort of reaches Carlisle sort of area and beyond through Kendal and Manchester, it will probably Birmingham as well be bogged down in traffic until it gets past Birmingham on its way to Oxford and then London. It should have a pretty free flowing time, straighter path. There's a green thing. No, it's red. Ooh, autosave. Right, hold on. Right, autosave is done. I think that's a spinner on the left hand side there, possibly. Yep, I do stop recording now during the autosaves, especially for the drive-by, because it takes such a long time and nothing actually happens. And these are generally quite long. They're normally quite long episodes, normally over an hour. Now that's when I used to run the speed at 2 times date speed. Now I'm running it fast forward at 4 times date speed. So probably by the time this one reaches London, we shall probably be in, I'm going to say late 1934 or early 1935. And then by the time we jump on our beautiful Flying Scotsman routes, we'll possibly be in 1940. Hopefully. Yep, I love this part here. As it's heading through the trees, there is also like a beautiful sort of lake on the right hand side as we pass through this tunnel. The train sort of just skirts around the edge of it, which is really nice as well. There we go. Past I've said it before and I'll say it again, these are my favourite trees in Transport Fever. We do have the occasional cactus and palm tree rolling around this map. There we go. There's the weird lake with a weird cliff face thingamajig going on. Ooh. Now I don't know about you guys, but this is playing all sort of havoc with the frames. Right, it's looking good though. Now, we're currently sitting at about 30 frames, which is pretty decent. This thing is getting up to 60 miles per hour. Now, me and another one of the subs. Hold on. Why can't I find this? Yeah. Me and Stephen Barnett, he commented on a couple of the posts, and we're speaking about like the sort of ideal system for running Transport Fever, how to defeat sort of lag spikes and stuttering, frame rate issues and stuff. Now, he did point out, and it's something that I've noticed as well, when playing through the first Transport Fever 2 playthrough that I did, that is when trains, there seems to be a lot of lag and stutter to begin with, when trains first sort of roll out. Once they reach like 60, 65 miles per hour, on like single time speed, sometimes even at 3 times speed, the sort of spikes go away. It seems to run like buttery smooth, which is strange. You would think at a slower pace, because the game has more time to load in sort of more stuff in the distance, that it would be the opposite way around. You'd think when things are going past faster, there would be more lag, but it seems to, maybe not in this view, but like a view when you're sort of following the train, third party mode, not in the first person view like we're in now, it does run slightly better, which totally baffles and confuses me. Most of you guys play this a lot, so, or have seen other people playing it and know what the issues are. We need to get our military grade hardware. We'll maybe raid some local Air Force bases, pull some flight control chips out of some F-35s, or some munitions chips out of some missiles or something, fire them in the PC, and then it'll run totally smooth with 1 million vehicles on a plus size map. Yes, that's what we need. I'll just call my contacts at the Pentagon, get a few munitions chips sent over. It's like the old movie Toy Soldiers, when the toy company gives this guy like an unlimited budget to make the toys, and he acquires like military grade chips to put inside the dolls. You've got major chip hazard, and the toys like sort of come to life, and they're like extremely smart and violent, and they're trying to defeat the Gorgonauts. Great movie that. Tommy Lee Jones was the voice of the Major Trip. Is it Trip or Chip Hazard? That was a great movie. That's what we need for our computers. Phone up the MOD, the Pentagon, get them to send their latest hardware over. See if we can run the game at full speed. I would imagine you would need some sort of intense cooling as well. But normally what like the military and stuff have, we get like a couple of years down the line, and they get like the newer stuff. Obviously, like stuff like that's extremely expensive. Only governments can afford it. But if I was a billionaire, I would be buying, like Bill Gates. Do you think Bill Gates sits at home and has like a desktop computer with like an i9 and a 2080 graphics card? No, I bet he's got something far, far more advanced that most of us can only sort of dream of. Anywho, we'll just keep playing it on standard stuff though. So the i7, I've got an i7 just now. I was actually thinking about upgrading my system. I was going to wait for the new 3000 graphic cards to come out. Now, GPU, there's always this debate on Transport Fever websites whether GPU is a major factor. For me, it isn't. For me, it's total CPU. This is a CPU heavy intensive game. More than anything I've ever played. Now, I can play something like Call of Duty Warzone 200 frames with quite a lot of stuff turned down graphical wise, not for better use of the GPU and CPU, because it's actually easier to see moving targets. But yeah, it runs just totally fine. Anno runs fine. I could have 1 billion ships on the map on Anno. It runs totally fine. Don't know about Soviet Workers in Republic. just yet. Some people might not like the graphical style of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. I think it's great. I mean, they are adding quite a lot of stuff. If you've checked out the roadmap, it looks really interesting. They obviously just added like the heating for buildings. Also, they added like the nuclear power plants, which is really cool. They are adding like munitions factories, planes, helicopters. It looks really cool. Now, at a point, if you've got like a really decent map with quite a lot of vehicles and stuff rolling around it, a lot of industries running, then I would imagine as well at some point that game would become super CPU intensive. Probably racking up quite a lot of memory as well. Try to remember every single thing that you've got running and everything else that's happening on the map. But we'll just have to wait and see. Just started my Soviet Workers Republic. Soviet Workers and Resources. No. Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Jesus. We're just going to call it Soviet Republic from now on. Everyone will know what I'm speaking about. But yeah, just started it. First episode. Got a lot of views. Got some positive feedback. I did screw up a couple of things. Thank you to the peeps who noticed that I did not have a coal ore processing plant. And then I run the gauntlet of realising that I'd screwed up and then not having a coal storage for processed coal at the other end of it. It just either goes straight to the power plant or straight to the factory, which for me right now is fine. So I can sell some coal, even though you don't get much for it, and the rest of the coal can just be used for running that power plant. As long as I maintain the workforce to keep it going, that should keep everyone happy. And then later on we'll find like a coal mine that's like up beside a mountain or up in a mountain, and then we'll plod away with that to get a sort of different coal resource. I was super lucky in that map that there was actually a really flat area of land where the coal, I could actually place the coal mine and the gravel facilities, which was good. The gravel mining facilities. Looks like we've got a green light here, so we're actually heading on pretty good. We are getting a wee bit stutter. There was a train heading up there. I'm not entirely sure what the hell that train was. I don't think I've seen any of the old school London North Western Railways trains on the go, like the Greater Britain, the Precursor, and the Queen Empress. Although I do see the Queen Empress right there on the horizon, so it is still on the go. Or is it? No, it's a freight train. No, it's not. It's the Queen Empress, with a London, Midlands and Scottish Railways attire. Doesn't actually say LNWR though, does it? I think maybe... No, it's good. It's just got that sort of royal emblem, royal seal or something on there. Right, so we're going to be bypassing Kendal. We've got 34 people on board. Bypassing Kendal, bypassing Manchester. It's a heavy traffic area, so be prepared to get stopped. Although it was pretty good going through Carlisle. Old school signal there. We've got a fuel train on the right hand side. Looks like we've got a silver train that's pretty much almost fully loaded. We should be able to shoot straight through here. We've still got old school track in most of the stations. Now this I'm not too bothered about. Old school track will still do 75 miles per hour for a through passing train. So that is totally fine. We're not bothered about upgrading that. Right, so it continues on. Can't see any trains in the distance. There is one heading our way, which is fine. So at least that means it won't stop this train. There we go. Exiting Kendal now, pretty much. Freight train on the right, passenger train on the left. Unsure of what this passenger train actually is. Ooh, it's the Grand Central, is it? No. It's the one that goes from Sheffield, I think. I have no idea. I'd love to have known what that train was. That was a Fowler class, so I think it's the one that goes Sheffield, Kendal, Manchester, possibly. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it is. Right, so we're heading down to Manchester, 60 miles per hour, decent speed, still not hit that 80 yet. It's probably going to get stuck here. I would have expected to see a lot more oil trains on this route, but I did actually upgrade the oil trains just recently. Made them sort of heavy hitting freight trains. There's the airport though, there's a plane taking off from the airport. So the planes are actually doing really well. There's not one plane route that is sort of not in profit, which is really good. We've got the road at the right hand side there. That's for the buses to drop people off. There's another train there. Looks like the precursor in LMS livery. I'm thinking about adding a fourth train to that. But if we get something new in LMS livery that's sort of between 75, 70, 80 miles per hour, we'll add another train onto there, because the line is still busy, and obviously that Queen Empress is only up at Carlisle. That one's just rolling into Kendal. So at some point, even though they were spaced out, I respaced them recently, they are now sort of boxed up together. This looks like our other Royal Scot, I do believe it is. So it's made good time to get from London. It's already past Manchester, on its way to Carlisle. We're not even through Manchester yet, although the line looks clear, oddly. Nothing coming down that way. I suppose I have set a lot of trains now to wait for a sort of full load, which sort of reduces traffic, because then we don't have a lot of half-empty trains cluttering up space on the line. Should I have had this train stop in Manchester? I probably should have. The issue is, I don't have free track for this train to stop at. Now there's a lot of people waiting there. God knows, platform 2, there's something else there, LMS. Something over there, a Great Western. That's nice. That's really nice. I love the fact that I've started doing this. Before I never did anything like this. We hardly ever did first person views, train views. Holy crap, we're actually getting a free shot through Manchester Birmingham. There should be a lot more trains on here, which, one, is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. It could mean that somewhere in this area there's a train that's screwed up, and it's screwing up everyone else. There's our weird floating arch bridges. It's one of the, what is it, 5, 7, 6 8th wonder of the world? 9. How many wonders of the world is there? Can't remember. That's an extra one. We've just tacked that one on. People come from all over the planet to see the floating bridge. Is it floating over here? No, it works. Although it is weird, we'll say. There's some sort of weird visual glitch. Right, we are stopping for this extremely long freight train, which actually looks like it's making good speed. So it should be, yeah, there we go. Popping off again, which is sweet. Yeah, this is actually not too bad. I expected us to be stuck in, like, traffic from hell. We're actually doing okay. Now, I don't actually know how much time has gone past. I am tempted to look, but we're going to save it. Because we're going to head through here, get to Oxford, through Luton, and then into London, and then we're basically there. Hopefully. There's not much things on this part of the track that can actually stand in our way, so it should be a clean shot. Through at least Oxford, and then there may be 1 or 2 trains there. But look, ow. It looks like the train that left the London side actually made, like, excellent time. It must not have been phased by anything at all. It just ran straight through, no issues. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 80 though. We could potentially do it here between Birmingham and Oxford, as long as the train doesn't have to stop. It does have an uphill climb, but then it'll have a downhill section as it heads towards Oxford. And it still is increasing speed going up this hill, which is it's a good sign. Now we go up to 43. It looks like it becomes slightly steeper as we crest the top. There is a freight train in front. I can barely see it, but I can see the smoke from said freight train. Yeah, I should be able to go. Yes, we've got a clear signal. Up to 45, maybe? Come on, 45. There we go. Just as it hit that junction there. Right, so we're on our way. I'll be happy with at least 70, because I know our Flying Scotsmans do actually hit 75 at many points on their line, which is pretty decent. There we go. We'll be up to 50, and then we start the downhill, and then at the other side of this hill is Oxford, so it's not actually that far away. Right, come on, 52. Do you have to slow down for this corner? Maybe. 55. 56. Yep, keep going. Through the tunnel. Yeah, we're up to 60. 60 is good. Now there's only one other train that utilises this bit of track, and it's the old school London North Western Railways main line, which is now the LMS sort of main line. There we go, we're up to 62. Down the hill. Yeah. Ooh, I see signals, that's bad. Hopefully we'll get a straight through shot though. 65, come on, up to 70. 66. 67. 8. 9, 70. Right, and then it has to veer off to the left, so it'll have to slow down. Even creeping up to 72 there. It's decent. 73. Yeah, it's going to have to pull off left here. It's slowing down. So if it didn't have to veer off to the left, it might have been okay. It's pretty good though. Almost 75. Right, rolling up into Oxford, our next stop. So we've got 34 of 100 on board. It's not going to make much of a profit, if any at all, with dropping off them. But it looks quite busy here at Oxford. Or when I was watching the previous train, it actually picked up a full load here. And it's been a while since another train has been back this way, so should be okay. We are getting quite a lot of stuttering. I'm not sure if having it at 3 times speed is beneficial. I would say like the stuttering. Yeah, it's down to like 15 frames here at Oxford. And Oxford is a really small area. It's not really a big city at all. Oh well. Veer off to the left. 58. Let's go 1 times speed. Does 1 times speed seem smoother? 2 times? 3 times? 1 times. Now it's still struggling around here at Oxford. It could be due to this ridiculous amount of people that are at the station here at Oxford. Right, you pick up please. Right, so 34 people are getting off, yes. I think it went down to 9. I think 9 stayed on board. That's interesting. Yeah, it's picking up 100, definitely. Because there's still quite a large amount of people sitting waiting there for the next train. Right, off we go though. Off to London, bypassing Luton, which is just round this corner. Now, I doubt highly it'll get up to any sort of decent speed here. It's not actually that far from Luton. I'll have to slow down as it goes through Luton. Right, off we go though. No sign of any other trains. The Hush Hush is on this section. Whether we'll see it or no, I have no idea. It would be cool to see though, definitely. Oh, that traffic light ahead just turned from green to red. I'm pretty sure. So we are heading back onto the main line. No sign of the Hush Hush yet, and no sign of the Greater Britain, which is the 3rd train that is on that LMS main line. Yep, don't see any trains ahead. That sucks. It may still come round. Yeah, you change to green, please. There's Luton right there. You can see the skyscrapers. Or the high-rises. Not really skyscrapers, high-rises. No sign of the Hush Hush. That's a shame. Well, probably as we just branch off to the right, it'll just appear there on the left-hand side. Is it going to appear there on the left-hand side? Possibly not. And it's quite a decently fast train. It just depends on where it actually was as this train entered Oxford Station. Yeah, that line looks pretty empty. We can just sort of see it through the gaps in the trees there. Nothing. So it must be further on. It must be down beside Cambridge. Or Peterborough, which is unfortunate. Here we go though, bypassing Luton. And then off to London. Looks like Luton is expanding sort of out towards Oxford sort of way. Nice houses. Do really appreciate the models, the housing models. And you always get these tiny little wee cottage buildings right near train tracks. Ooh, there's a cactus. Cactus on the right hand side, we missed it. This thing's actually doing 66, it's pretty decent. This is going to slow down though. And it's only a short hop through Luton to London. Basically through the tunnel, and then you're pretty much there. Right, so through we go, bypassing this empty platform. Luton. Yeah, I do like the signs. This is the sort of newer platform with a light sort of brick. There's the sort of old cobblestone brick. Right, back up to speed again. And into London you go. No sign of any of the trains on the left hand line either, although I can't actually remember what's on there. Ooh, autosave though. And autosave is complete. Right, so we're heading up to 50. We'll pop out the other side of the tunnel, down the hill, and then voila, we shall be in London. So, quite a busy station. We did have to add that extra section on for the Flying Scotsman. That sort of weird sidey on station. I'm not really a fan of doing stuff like that, but it would mean deleting the station and adding, swapping over heaps of different lines and stuff. It would have just have been pure chaos. But it's nice for the Flying Scotsman to actually have its own little station. Now we might actually see one. There's a bit of unfinished track. There's a nice little bridge on the right hand side with its phantom pillars. We do love the phantom pillars. Ah, there is a Flying Scotsman in that station, and I know exactly which one it is. It's the blue one, so it's the Gordon from Thomas the Tank one. Now we could possibly jump on that. It is about to leave. Are you leaving? Yeah, we could jump on our blue one. It's sort of facing the way to leave. But here we are, arrived in London. It looks like there are at least 100 people waiting. There's a Southern Railways train sitting there as well. And Escape. Right, how many years? 1935, early 1935. Sort of called it. We've got a few things. 5 new vehicles, 4 new vehicles, 4 new vehicles. The Princess Royal, the SR. What's SR? Southern Railway. Right, let's quickly head to a depot and see what we won there. There were a few things, a few planes as well. Where is the depot? Now that's the question. To end all the questions. There's a tram depot here. Let's check that out. Right, there's no new tram, just the Type 1s. I don't even think that I've replaced... I have done a couple. I will do these. Like, one can be probably taken off of here. Yeah, this one with 1. Extinguish. In fact, Dublin tram could probably just have 2, because the new ones will have even larger capacity. Yeah, they're all good. Yes, right. No new tram. That's okay. Not too fussed about trams. Other road depots like over here. There it is. Buy vehicles. So we've got our buses. It looks like we've got some Volvo trucks, which is nice. We've got the Opel Blitz. See, that's why I didn't want to do all the stuff with the Benzes. I've now got these. There we go. Tipper. Capacity of 13, 14, 14, 12. Awesome. We've got some new trucks. Buses will remain the same. We're running these 4 at the moment. 1956, 1955, 75. That. These went till 1960, but we're going to be replacing them up, changing them up. Now let's see. There we go. Buy vehicles. Right, no electrics, no diesels. Let's go to steam. These run till 1960. They ran to 1955. I can't believe this thing runs to 1940, so it's going to be gone soon, which is I'm quite happy about. Alright, let's head down to the bottom. So there's our LMS stuff. There's our Southern Railway stuff. There is our Royal Scot, Fowler, P17, High Pressure Fury. Now, we've got the LNER W1, which is basically that Hush Hush, which is now gone, but it's in a green livery. Let's see what it says. W1, the Hush Hush, was an experimental loco. I included this model of how the LNER wished the engine to enter service. Huh. So it's not actually a thing that was used, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to find something for it. Right, the Great Western Railway's 4,300. Now, let's compare it. If the old one is still there... No, the old one is gone. So, don't know what the difference is, but I think I'll just upgrade the ones I've currently got. Right, there we go. The Princess Royal, 100 miles per hour. Great Western Railways. This is London Midlands Scotland Railway. Sir William Stainer of the LMS designed the Princess Royal class. The princesses are related to the Great Western Railway's King class, which I don't have. No model for it. The A4, the Mallard is available. It's fine. Early, late, unlimited, 90, 90. So they've kept the top speed of 90 apart from the unlimited one, which has the top speed of 126. The LMS Black, the iconic locomotives, workhorse, over 800 were built. So could this be used for freight? Probably, so that's good. The LNER P2, express passenger locomotive to run heavy trains in Scotland. Some were made with a streamlined front end and the style of the A4. Right. I know where we can stick that on a line in Scotland. I know exactly which line to stick it on. Let's read back up on our Princess Royal. King with a larger firebox supported by additional trailing wheels. This origin is explained by the designer to the LMS. When originally built, they were used to haul the famous Royal Scot train between London, Euston and Glasgow Central. But mine's leaves from Edinburgh. Now, that may add weight to the fact that I think this is Southern Railways. Yeah. 15 was known as being the fastest accelerated engine. It was commonly used on cross-country trains between main lines. Nice. And it does 75. So we'll get that on somewhere. Yeah, I think I will do a Royal Scot train between Glasgow and London. And what I'll do is, like, for example, the first one stops at London. It bypasses Luton and goes to Oxford. What we'll do is we'll have to find some way, somehow, to expand Manchester Station and have it go through there. Or I may just have it go from Glasgow to London. Who are you? You're a mainline train. Or do I just put it on the Edinburgh? Do I take one of the Royal Scots off and put that one on? Could possibly be. But we made it to 1935. We're now going to jump on our second train. So we have this one that was requested to be painted blue and called Gordon. And there it is. So this train is making 2 million. So it's just a standard vanilla. Or is it? I think it's like a... There'll be something different. Is it a LNER A1 Pacific? Right. Sweet. Now, we've got... running that other line out of London, the East Coast Main Line. I am going to throw on the Mallards. So... I was kind of hoping we get different coloured Mallards, but there may be some to appear later on. One thing we didn't check is like ships and freight. We'll check them at the end. Ships and passenger wagons and freight. We'll check them at the end. So let's jump on board with this one. It's apparently currently doing 22 miles per hour, which is interesting. There it is. There's the loco in blue. Very nice. Let's spin us around. Slightly laggy there. It's okay. Go forward a touch. And skadoosh. Off we go. So, we burned 5 years on that first route, the Royal Scot route. Hopefully we'll burn another 5 on this route. So it's heading up out of London. Its next stop should be Peterborough, one would imagine. It is Peterborough because I can see it heading for Peterborough down there. Nice. So we've got some, we're into the age of like these large sort of beast powerhouse steam trains, which is really cool. So we'll get our Princess Royal on something. We had that LMS class that I could possibly use for new freight lines and maybe change up some of the freight lines that we've got. The problem is we've pretty much got a passenger service running to basically everywhere. I am going to change up those Great Westerns for the new 4300. So I'll basically just find out where that sort of older class is and replace it with the sort of new class. Right, there's something heading in. It's an LNER number as well. I'm going to read up in the Mallard as well and see where it actually went. I would love to get another line with the Princess Royal going from Glasgow to London. That's something I would like to do. The problem is finding or changing up stations and platforms to get that train in there. For a start, Glasgow has no more room. Carlisle also has no more room. Kendal, struggle to get one in at Kendal. Manchester, no. Birmingham, no. Oxford, probably. Could probably get it in at Oxford. Could probably get it in at Luton. Might even be able to pop it an extra platform onto that London station and get it in there. But it's the stops in between and Glasgow. I'll figure something out though, because I want my 2 Royal Scots and I want 2 Princess Royals. Or, if the worst comes to worst, I'll just change up one of the Royal Scots for a Princess Royal. Right, we're heading off to Peterborough. Now this train is really good, I must say, the old acceleration. It's up to 62 already. I mean, this first station here is Cambridge, right? So it doesn't stop here. It just goes through it. Or does it? Is this Peterborough? I think it's Cambridge. It is maintaining that speed, but that means nothing. Because they do bomb into the station at a fair speed and then slow down quickly. No, no, no. See, this is Cambridge. There we go. Yeah, we passed this. Bypassed this. Still no sign of that hush hush. It is there. Somewhere. God knows where. But it is there. Yeah, it should have been heading down there somewhere. I guess we missed it, which is like super bad timing. Yeah, it's probably Oxford side now. Oh well. On to Peterborough. We're up to 71. Yeah, I think this thing is going to reach the other end possibly before we reach 1940. I've just got a feeling. It's a fast train, decent speed. Looks awesome as well. No sign of any of its sort of counterparts. Now we should have a green signal. There shouldn't be anything in front of us here. There is like a fuel tank on the track there, which could be misconstrued as extremely dangerous. Oh yes. That's Death Trap 2.0. Well, that's interesting. Over the road we go. No sign of any of the other ones. That could be dangerous. That could mean that something has gone horribly wrong further down the track. Or, I suspect, they're stuck at York, or somewhere around York. Because that is another section of the map where it's literally hell on earth for trains, unfortunately. Right, into Peterborough though. Made super fast time, which is good. The time is currently... well, it's not 10 past 10. And it's not 10 to 2. In real life, is it? Oh, it actually is 10 to 2. Oh well, my bad. Right. Loaded up 102 of 110, that's pretty good. We're now heading for York. And still no sign of any other train. That's a bad thing. Because then that adds fuel to the fire that is probably stuck somewhere. One way or another though, we're about to find out. Now I don't think I set these to wait at either end. I think I just set them to go, go, go. As soon as they picked up at least one person, just bail. Oh, this section is actually pretty dead. Where the hell is everyone? Okay, I'm slightly scared now. What the hell is this? That's a forestry camp. Logging camp. I was like, why is there a little city just built in some trees just outside Peterborough? But it's not. I can't even see any steam or smoke in the horizon. Which is bad, because if those trains are stuck, that means this train that we are on right now will also get stuck. Because there'll be... how many trains did we put on this? 6? There'll be 5 trains in front of it, somewhere. At least if we see 2 or 3 potentially passing, then we know that frees up some space in the line further on. But there's 0 as of yet. They are there, right? I did buy them. Bought them in the last episode. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I saved it. If I've got the blue one on the line, then the rest of them should be there. Right, still nothing. Can't see anything on that weird bridge setup we've got over there. I do see a freight train in the distance. I'll be able to change that up because that's running like a generic 060 of old. It's pretty slow and it's not really that powerful. And hopefully I can get more grain being shifted from that area beside Leicester into the booze and bread factories beside Birmingham. Yeah, there's no train yet, and there's nothing at the other side of this bridge. And we're pretty much almost at York. There is York in the distance. That's Hull over there at the right hand side. It's doing 56. I would imagine it's going to have to slow down to get up here. Okay, so there are still 6 trains in front of us. There's nothing behind us. Now, when I launched these, they were timed out pretty good by my standards. Okay, a bit of section of bridge is slightly weird. It's okay though. Oh dear God, there's nothing in front. So everything is stuck somewhere between York and Edinburgh. Now, weirdly, whilst I was waiting for... Before this episode started, I was waiting for the Royal Scot at Edinburgh to sort of move, and I was waiting for the other one to get down to London so that I could actually move it and jump on board it to start the episode. All the Flying Scotsmen in that time were rolling in and rolling out, like, perfectly. Like there was no issue. So obviously sometime between then and this part we're at here, something has gone horribly wrong. So we're now almost at York, which means somewhere between York and Edinburgh there are 5 or 6 other Flying Scotsmen that are stuck. And that's bad. I hate it when the trains bunch up. I'd love some sort of timetabling feature in Transport Fever. The closest thing we can do is sort of set it to wait for like a full load, half load, set it for a certain amount of time. But yeah, I would very much like trains to be spaced out. Obviously it would be super difficult as well if you've got freight that utilise the same tracks as passenger trains, because you wouldn't want to schedule your freight trains. You just want them to pick stuff up as much as possible, or if you really want to, just sit and wait, tell it to wait for a full load, and then you want it to move and get those goods delivered as soon as possible, because they are part of a supply chain, and if one part of the chain is going slower than the rest, then everything just sort of breaks down. And I still can't see any other Flying Scotsmen. And we're heading into York. This is bad. I would imagine we're going to get stuck at York and we're not going to be able to progress any further. It looks like I see a train in York. There's a fuel train bypassing through York. There's one. There is a Flying Scotsman. Yeah, we are stuck now. We can't move. I'm not entirely sure why, because we shouldn't have to wait for this one to leave. Unless, is that something else? Unless that's a B-17 that is heading on the East Coast main line. Yeah, I need to look at this train as it's going past. I did throw a couple of Flying Scotsmans on there. What are you? Yeah, you're a Flying Scotsman. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh dear. I think that train that just passed us on the left hand side is from a different route. Or is it? There is another train there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, do we have 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's an East Coast train. There's another one of the Flying Scotsmans though. Oh no, this one has 7 as well. Okay, I'm slightly confused. What is going on? Where are all the Flying Scotsmans on the Flying Scotsman line? Wait, how many cars is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have I only got 5 in this one, but 7 on the rest? That does seem something. That does seem like something weird I would actually do. Right, so I'm slightly concerned. I still don't know what is in front of us and what is just went behind us. We'll probably find that when we get through this tunnel, it'll be game over. We'll be sunk. I probably should check the date as well. I don't think it's been 5 years yet. We're only in March of 1935. There's a nice LMS train. I think that's a Dreadnought. Another fuel train is rolling in there. Right, off we go again. To what peril? I have no idea. We're about to find out. Even if one of those trains that was passing there was a Flying Scotsman number, it still means that there are others just in front of us. This could be one here. Yeah, I think they've all been boxed up around this area. Now there's the one with the side plates. Yeah, see, you've only got 5 carriages. Now the other trains that we saw going past had 7. So I think they're from the East Coast main line. Right, you shouldn't be stopping. You should be going. Right, this inside this tunnel is positively horrendous. Not sure what the hell's going on in here. Oh, the ceiling is doing some sort of weird epilepsy warning. Right, onto this line. So has this train just been really lucky and every other train has been really unlucky? Possibly. We'll find out in just a second. Now, we did add a little branch off of the main line here for our Flying Scotsmans to give them a sort of decent run. So we're about to find out. We're getting a go-ahead signal though. That's good. Now, one thing is, normally there's the exclamation mark at the top. We've all seen it. It flashes red when something is awry. Does that still appear in first person camera mode? I think it does. Or if it doesn't, and something is going horribly wrong and the game is trying to warn us and we've maybe not seen it because we've been in first person camera mode We're about to find out. We're getting on our little branch line though. So this thing will get up to 75 on this section of track. There's something heading back. That's a good sign. So that's at least 2 trains. Definitely 2 Flying Scotsman trains have passed. Which means there potentially still could be 3 in front of us. There we go. That's the one with the extra tank. Sort of long haul train. Didn't need to add that. I just thought I would because I think it looks really cool. And when we get our Mallards on the go, we'll be adding at least one of them with the tank on as well. Nice. This is looking all good though. So far so good. I do see Newcastle in the distance. Now this part here was normally super congested with ridiculous amounts of trains, and now it seems to have sorted itself out, which I am a bit happy about, definitely. Right, so I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark and say that up here at Newcastle Station, I'm gonna say one of the other trains is gonna be sitting in here, sitting waiting. There we go, green light. We're up to 61. I thought this got up to 75 here. It definitely does between Newcastle and Edinburgh. This I know because we've seen it in the last episode. 63, 64. It's going to have to slow down though. Here's another one. Okay, so they were all sort of boxed up between York and Edinburgh. That sucks. How did that happen? I think I knew that at some point in the journey back from London, after I set them off, they got stuck coming out of Newcastle Station due to freight trains. That's my story, and we're sticking with it. Ooh, right, autosave. Autosave away. Right, here's another one. There we go. That's the vanilla one. 4472. So you're there, which means there may actually not be another one between here, because I think I launched the blue one after the vanilla one, or did I? Who knows? I mean, I only did it yesterday. I should remember. Alas, I don't know. Right, I'd love to know what the actual date in game is. Hopefully we've not gone past 1940. It doesn't matter if we have. Right, here we go into Newcastle. Yeah, I think this one up here with the 7 is an East Coast main line. Hopefully he'll just stay there. Let us through. He did. Good man. That could be a Flying Scotsman as well, but I do think I'm going to change these up to... Yeah, it is. I think I'm going to change them up to the A4s. Maybe change the carriages on them. Alright, into Newcastle we go. Looks like the solo branch line. Or wait, are you solo branch line train? You might be. Alright, up into here. Sweet. Right, Newcastle, second last stop, and then on to Edinburgh. Now, are we placing a wager? What is the date going to be when we arrive in Edinburgh? Past 1940? Post 1940 or pre 1940? And what trains are we actually going to get? Who the hell knows? Or some of you might already know. If you're a train fan, you probably know some of the more iconic trains that will appear round about this time. I did see in a TV program the other night, there was like a documentary about the tornado, the train, and I should have actually watched it, because I can't remember what type of class the tornado was, or where it actually ran. And if it is something that I'm going to unlock, if somebody has remade it in the Steam Workshop, then there's a 100% guarantee that I've downloaded it. Can always read up on it. I did actually see it once in real life at Edinburgh train station. So it was doing that. It was like you could jump on it for a day. There's a dining car. It was really cool walking past it and stuff. I did take a photo. Sent it to my grandfather. So his father, my grandfather's father, was actually a fireman, an engineer on one of the lines that used to run up here, just north of Aberdeen. So back then it was called the Buchan and Formartine railway line. So it went up north from Aberdeen towards Formartine, up to Peterhead, Fraserburgh, Ellon, all those places. And then I think in the 50s they sort of did away with it. And now for some reason the government wants to rebuild the lines from Aberdeen up north to sort of where I live. It's actually really no use for me. The town where I grew up, I do sort of stay really like near there, just like 5 minutes away, but my house is literally out in the middle of nowhere. You pass it on the main road, but you can't actually see it because there's a crap ton of trees in the way. That's why I was researching getting upgraded internet, the direct line. Instead of taking it from a junction box, the nearest junction box, taking the fibre line from there to the house, just getting a direct line. But it's super expensive to get installed. And then it's really expensive monthly after that to keep it. So a couple of my friends who still stay in the town where I grew up in, they actually, in their houses, they built new houses in a new housing area. And they were given the option whether they wanted the direct line. And it wasn't nowhere near as expensive as what they quoted me for, well, the company. We all know the company. Everyone in the UK does. They hold the monopoly on the telephones and internet. Yeah, what they said to get their engineers in to dig up everything to get the line in was, yeah, it was going to be extortionate. So that was that out the window. And unfortunately, my house is just slightly too remote. So I remember when we first built it, the post office, the Royal Mail, had difficulty finding it. And the guy was like, it doesn't appear on any sat nav or map. And I was like, yes, I know. I was like, both the cars I have, my girlfriend's car and my car, both have sat nav, and even the road to get up to where my house is It's not actually there. It doesn't exist. So it's a bit strange. And then the postman, normally when he goes on holiday, he will actually turn around and say, look, you might not get mail for about a week, because obviously a replacement driver comes in, and he has to actually take them out and show them where my house actually is, or they just won't find it, or they'll drive past it without knowing. So it's a bit of a nightmare. I know where it is. I've had people come to visit and then be on the phone and be like, oh, we're 10 minutes away. And it's like, oh, that's nice. And then half an hour later, I get another phone call, be like, where the hell is this house? It's like, sorry. They have to walk all the way to the main road and sort of like flag them down. Like, yeah, it's in here. But yeah, no direct line internet for me. The towns up this way are actually getting the gigafast. It's going to be it was like 3 years they said it was going to take, and that was like 3 years ago. Aberdeen just only got theirs done, and then because of COVID and stuff, they're like, it's going to be another 5 years. I was like, what the hell's going on? That's even longer. Even if they'd said, okay, we haven't really started doing anything up north, so it's going to be 3 years from now. But the fact is, 3 years ago they said it was going to take 3 years. And then 3 years is up and they've said, well, because of COVID it's now going to take 5. Who's doing the math for this? But yeah, you have to understand that there is the health pandemic on the go. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want anyone's sort of life or livelihood put at risk just to put internet in. We've still got internet. There's a lot of places in the world, even places in the UK, that struggle to even get like the basic internet. So I'm happy. Upload speed's pretty good. Normally takes me about 25 minutes to upload like an hour long YouTube video. That's been handbraked. That's been compressed up to YouTube. So that's not too bad. Obviously, playing online games kind of sucks, especially games like Fall Guys. I see myself getting kicked off of Fall Guys quite a lot. I get kicked off of Warzone quite a lot. Even if I don't get kicked off of Warzone, I get like this ridiculously high, like 70 to 80 to 100 millisecond ping, which means you lose firefights more times than you'd care to imagine. And it's all because of ping. In your screen, you are shooting somebody. They turn around, you're dead. You look on their feed from their kill cam, and you're not actually shooting them at all. You're just dead. So, bit of lag there due to latency. Slow internet connection. But here we are in Edinburgh. A boost escaped. The game froze. We're into September 1939, that's pretty decent. And we've got some new stuff. Road vehicle 1678 is poor. Are they all poor? Oh, they are. Okay, right, we've got some new stuff. We shall just fast forward it though. I'm actually going to take a quick look at this line. So you're there. There's none on this section of track, which is fine, because that one is still there. Yeah, there is a LNER Edinburgh Newcastle sitting waiting. I don't know what you are. You are a Central Mainline train. You are a high pressure Fury, it looks like. And you're right behind that other train, so they're boxed up as well. They're screwed up also. Freight train, other freight train, nothing in York. Let's head this way. Right, you're a B17 on the East Coast Main Line. You RNA3 Super Pacific on the East Coast Main Line. So at least that two are okay. Alright, heading down. Right, nothing here. Right, what do we have here? London Peterborough train. Other Flying Scotsman at Peterborough. You're running that. Is that the Hush Hush? No, there's another Flying Scotsman. There's one on the way back though. So we've got at least 1, 2, 3 between Peterborough and Cambridge. That's bad. And imagine the next one is here. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's super bad. They've all sort of screwed up. Right, we've got some new trains though. We are in 1940 now, so let's reduce that. And sweet, let's go to a depot. I know where there is one. We can check out all the new stuff. So, buy vehicles. Right. We have our Princess Royal, our LNER P2, the A4 and 4 variants, the Black 5, the LNER P2/2, the LNER W1 Hush Hush rebuilt, and there's the standard W1, which is nice because I'm going to put that green one on a line as well. The LMS Coronation, the LMS Duchess Crimson Lake, the Austerity, the Port of Par. Where's the Port of Par? Cornish. It's down in Cornwall. Penzance. That's cool. Port of Par, Brandon Bay, British Rail. 2 variants of this. One in black, Crimson Lake. 114 miles per hour. 110. These are really nice. That, the Austerity grey and green. Where do you hail from? The London and North Eastern Railway, G94 class. Form 75 from Austerity. These are purchased by the LNER. From the War Department. Cool. The Dreadnought. Now, we've had you, Dreadnought. Why have you returned? Is this simply a different one? Because I think the other two were in red, right? See if I can find the previous Dreadnought. Now, it should have been here. And LMS repaint. I think it's maybe gone. I'll find somewhere for it though. And we'll keep the other Dreadnoughts on. So we've got a lot of stuff there. Let's go to electric. Right, foreign stuff. German. Swiss. Also Swiss. No use. Diesels. No. Passengers. I think we did the BR1 to the British Rail Mark 1 coaches. One in Crimson Lake, one in Caledonian Blue. That's really nice. The BC4, that's German, I think. Early Maroon livery. Yep. We've got these, which we'll put on something. So we're good there. Cargo. No, we're all good for cargo. Cargo is still same as. Right, so we've got some fancy new locos. Let's go to London because I at least know where the depots and stuff are there. So road vehicle depot. Still got the same trucks. We do have a new bus, the Sauder 2-shirt. That's pretty cool. 31, 31, 22. How come this is faster than that? Okay, so I might get rid of these and add this stuff in. We've got our Volvos, we've got our Opel Blitzes. Nice. Trams, I think we're all good for trams. Yeah. There are tram mods, but none for like the UK or anything. A hangar, buy vehicles. We've got the Douglas DC-3, the JU-52. We'll get them rolling on something. This does freight, and it does thingy. I've not got a Vickers up and running yet, so we'll do something with air freight at some point. Now that is road, air, tram, rail looked at. Ships. The Zurich. The Zurich has become available. We've lost our steamship and steam ferries, which sucks greatly because I really like them. Capacity of 150, top speed of 20. Yeah, right. So nothing new, or nothing much new there. But we're going to leave it for that episode. I am sort of slightly depressed that these trains are all sort of boxed up. So not much we can do about that though. But we're into 1940 now. We've got some super fast trains. We'll have to create or find some new lines to put them on. We'll do some more stuff with freight, maybe some air freight. But we're going to leave it there for that episode. As always, if you did watch this and you'd like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there is more you'd like to see in the future, then hit that subscribe button. I've been Danny Boy. This has been Transport Fever 2 on the UK map. And I will catch us later.